So welcome. If you are new, thank you for joining me. My name is Sarah, and I'm so happy to have you here this evening. Starting off, like I said, in that comfortable beginning position. So that could mean any number of things for you. So if you're in that seated position, legs could be crossed, legs could be out long, knees could be bent, could be planted. Or like I said, if you prefer to start your practice off from hands and knees for a cat cow or a child's pose to cobra. We'll take these first couple of moments just to take our scan of the body, starting from the top of the head, moving down to the tips of your toes. As you take that scan, it's always without judgment. So we're just noticing how we're feeling, noticing where those points of tension are, what's going on in the body, and those places that maybe feel particularly good this evening, and that you could take some of our little bit of core or lower body work up a notch tonight. When you complete that scan, I invite you to take any initial range or ranges of motion that may feel good to start your practice off with. So, starting it off on the right foot for you. Um, and like I said, it could be that cat cow, that child's pose to cobra, that spinal twist, that lateral stretch, a roll of the head and the neck, a roll of the shoulders, a forward fold. Anything that works for you. We'll take about 4 to 6 nice deep breaths here, nice and easy, moving into that initial range of motion. Like I said, just starting off your practice on the right foot for you. Go ahead and take 2 more nice deep breaths here, kind of finishing out that initial range of motion. And then making your way over to comfortable seated if you're not there already. We'll start with our 4 regular warm up movements. So when you get there and take your time, we will start out with our roll of the head and the neck. So we're going to start from the top. With your first big inhale there, I want you to find that long spine. With your exhale, we'll drop the chin to the chest, and then we're just going to roll the head side to side, right ear towards the right shoulder, and then down through center, left ear towards the left shoulder. Just finding that nice, easy, like I said, side to side, taking it at a pace and a depth that feels good for you. So if you like to take it a little bit deeper, a little bit more of a stretch, you could look up towards that top corner. If you like a little less, you could keep the head a little bit closer towards center. Go ahead and take 2 more nice deep breaths. Next time you bring that right ear to that right shoulder, I want you to go ahead and hold there for just a moment. When you get the right ear towards the right shoulder, you could take that left arm down towards the floor, fingertips out a little bit longer, or you could bring it around behind the back. And we're just that's just serving to open up a little bit more through the neck on the left side. Taking just 1 more breath here in this hold. And then letting that release, bringing the head down through center one final time, bringing the left ear towards the left shoulder. And once again, you can take that right arm down to your side for this hold or around behind the back. Also, always leave it right at center if that feels a little bit better for you. 1 more breath here. Fabulous. Go ahead, drop that chin back to the chest. Next inhale brings it up, back nice and long. As our kind of transitional, as soon as that head is back up nice along that long spine, let's go ahead into those shoulder circles. So nice big circles up towards the ears, either down to the front or down to the back. Like I said, we'll be doing a little work at hands and knees today. We'll be doing a little work at plank today. So just get shoulders ready to support us, loosened up, ready to go. 2 more circles in this first direction, and then go ahead and switch it up. Same thing, other way. So if you were going backwards, bring it forwards, and vice versa. Good, 2 more in this second direction, and then release those shoulders low away from the ears. All right, lateral stretches up next. So next big inhale takes those arms out and up towards the ceiling. Next exhale takes that right hand down towards the floor. Maybe the hand or maybe the elbow comes down. Left arm is up over top. Next inhale pulls us up through center. Nice long arms, nice long spine. Exhale down to that second side. Same thing other way. From here, go ahead and take it at your own pace. Those inhales pulling you through center. Those exhales bringing you side to side. As always, if you like it a little faster or slower here, feel free to take it a little faster or slower. And you can find a hold if that feels good also. So taking a couple breaths, finding that nice deep stretch through the side of the body. From those top fingertips down to that bottom hip. All righty, good. One more time in each direction here. As always, if you need to, feel free to find that third change of direction to even out. And then we're going to go right into our spinal twist. So if you're someone who likes to take those arms up nice and high as we come through center in your spinal twist, you can go right into it. If not, you can circle those arms down and around, find that next inhale to your long spine, and exhale into that first twist. Same as our lateral stretches, I want to invite you to take this at a pace that feels good for you. Those inhales pulling you through center, whether the arms stay low or lift up, and those exhales pulling you in either direction. Side to side, nice and easy, keeping that long spine as you come through center. Maybe putting a little bit more pressure through the legs and through that back hand as you get a little bit more warmed up, as the spine feels a little bit better. Excellent. Go ahead one more time in each direction. Once again, feel free to find that third change of direction to even out and hit that second side one final time. When you finish that out, that last inhale brings the spine back to nice and long at center. And that exhale either circles the arms down and around or releases the shoulders. From here, brief lower body warm up. Right leg stays folded in, left leg comes out nice and long. And we're going to start off with just a fold. So if you'd like it a little wider or a little bit narrower, feel free to find that. And then we're just going to hinge forward with those hips, fingertips down towards the shin, the ankles, the toes, finding that nice deep stretch, opening through the shoulder blades, kind of letting the spine release and relax. Go ahead and take two more nice, easy breaths. If you'd like to come out of it with that first inhale and fold back into it, feel free. Or if you'd like to just keep it down in that fold for those two breaths, that's also fabulous. Nice. We're going to take this into a one lateral stretch here. So left fingertips are going to stay down towards that left foot. Right hand is going to come up over top. That nice big lateral stretch. So once again, lots of length from those right fingertips down to that right hip in contact with the mat. Bear with me. I don't know directions today, apparently. So if I say the wrong one, just go with the one that is makes more sense. All right, we're gonna take this into a spinal twist. I want you to circle that right arm down and around. We're gonna take it to the outside of that long left leg, and then a little Pilates spinal twist. We're gonna open up that left arm towards that back wall, a little pressure into the outside of that left leg. Nice big stretch here. And that next exhale brings that left hand back down. Inhale rolls us back up to that long spine. We're going to do one stretch down center. So both legs are going to come long. And then same as that stretch to that first side, we're just hinging forward at those hips, fingertips towards the ankle, the shin, or the toes. Ankles, shin, toes. Excellent. Next inhale rolls us up, and we're just going to switch sides. Same thing, other side. Our final little bit of warm up before we change positions. So this time, left leg is folded in, right leg is out long. We're just going to start off with that hinge forward at the hips, fingertips towards the ankle, shin, or toes. Excellent. Two more breaths here. Once again, if you're someone who'd like to come just part way out, find that long spine and back into it for those final breaths, feel free. Nice. Let's take this into our lateral stretch. Right fingertips stay down towards those right toes. Left arm comes up over top. Lots of length from those left fingertips to that left hip. And let's bring it around for that spinal twist. So that left arm comes around to the outside of that right leg. That right arm opens up towards that back wall, towards that side wall, however deep you can get into that spinal twist. Next exhale closes that back down, and our inhale rolls us up to that long spine. We're going to make our transition here over to hands and knees. So, like I said, if you like to have something underneath those knees or for a little bit of change of angle for the wrists, feel free. Feel free to grab a sip of your beverage on your way over. And we're going to start right when we get there with a nice, easy cat and cow just for our transition. So, take your time getting there. Finding that cat and cow, finding your breath, connecting it to your ranges of motion here. As you inhale, pressing the belly towards the floor, lifting those hips and maybe the chin if that feels good. As you exhale, rounding the spine up towards the ceiling, tucking that chin underneath and those hips underneath, and just finding a few of these here, nice and easy. Nice. One more nice deep breath, once more in each direction. When you finish that second one, just bring that spine back to our nice neutral. We've got one more lateral stretch. So love the lateral stretches for our warm up today. I want you to go ahead and look over that right shoulder. Once you get to the edge of that range of motion, I want you to pull that right hip up towards your gaze. So we're shortening the right side of the body. We're lengthening the left side of the body. You're welcome to stay right here or to take it up in intensity. You can take that left leg, step it out long as if you were going to bring it into our plank, and then step it around to the outside to the right side of that right leg. So we're lengthening just a little bit more all the way back to that foot. All right. And then from there, if you're feeling still stable and like you want to take it up a notch, that left hand can step around to the outside, the right side of that right hand. So same thing, we're putting a little bit of extra length through the left side of the body from left fingertips to left toes all the way around to the other side. And as always, if this doesn't work for you, feel free to keep it kind of neutral at center, um, or excuse me, to not put that hand or foot on the opposite side. One more inhale here. And then with that exhale, we're going to bring the spine back through center. So stepping that hand and that knee back down. If you took the round to the side, looking over that left shoulder, left hip comes up towards your gaze. From there, if you'd like to take it up a notch, right leg steps out as if we were going to take it into that plank. Bring it around to the outside of that foot. And then same thing if you're feeling stable, right arm can step around to the outside of that left arm, that little bit of extra length on the right side of the body. One more big inhale. And exhale brings us back to center, hands and knees. All right, like I said, lots of hips coming at us. We're going to start with some hip circles. You can go in either direction. We're going to float that right knee about an inch or two off the ground. You can either bring it out to the side first, around to the back, and then back in, or press it to the back first, around to the side, and then in from there. Keeping that knee at that 90-degree angle, nice and controlled, working through your range of motion. So if yours looks a little bit different than mine does, that's okay. Maybe yours is a little bit bigger of a range of motion. Maybe yours is a little bit smaller of a range of motion. Either way is fine. I'm just keeping it moving here for a couple of nice big circles. Trying to keep that lower back kind of long and keeping your core engaged so we're not just dipping the lower back towards the floor as we lift to the back. One more circle in this first direction, and then I want you to change it up. So whichever way you started with, just hit that opposite direction, either out to the side or out to the back. Same thing, trying to keep that 90-degree angle with that knee, moving in that nice controlled range of motion. Way to go, you guys. Excellent. Give me two more circles in this second direction. When you finish those two, go ahead and set that knee down. If at any point in between or during these you need a little break, a little release, feel free to press the hips back or do a wrist circle or two. And then we're going to bring it back to that hands and knees if you took that break, and just do the same thing on the other side. So same thing, either direction to start with, whichever feels more natural. Nice big hip circles with that opposite leg. Out to the side or out to the back. And this might feel a little bit different for you because now that our right leg has done a little bit of work, it could be a little bit tired already. And so it's now supporting us, and that can make this left leg feel more challenging right away. Give me 2 more circles in this first direction, and then we're going to switch it up. Same other way. Same thing other way. So after that second circle, changing it up, either out to the side or out to the back, making sure you keep that core engaged, pulling your belly button in towards the spine as we find these hip circles. Excellent. 2 more circles in this second direction. When you finish those 2, go ahead and set that left knee down. And once again, if you need that little break, feel free to press those hips back towards the heels, give those wrists a circle or 2. And then we're going to come back up to hands and knees. We've got 3 more ranges of motion from hands and knees for those hips. There's going to be 2 that are individual, and then the third one will combine them. The first one has been often called a fire hydrant. So we're going to lift that knee once again about an inch or 2 off of the floor. You're going to keep it bent at that 90 degrees, lift it up. I want you to pause for a 2 count in your head at the top of your range of motion, and then bring it back down. So I want this to be nice and slow and controlled. I want there to be a little hover at the top end, and trying to just open through that leg and not let your weight all rock onto one hand or the other. Excellent, excellent. Give me 2 more of these. And we're switching our range of motion. When you finish that second one, we're going to engage the glutes a little bit more. It's going to be kind of a lift to the back. So the start of our circles here. I want you to keep that knee at our 90 degrees. Flex that foot so the heel points towards the back wall, and then press that heel up towards the ceiling. Squeezing through the glutes, little pause at the top, and then back down to right underneath. So same thing, I want you to do that 2 count pause at the top. See how high you can get it, how high you can hold it, and then bringing it back down. So keeping on moving here, keeping it going. Once again, maybe that left hip, that supporting hip is starting to feel this as well. That's okay. Excellent. Give me 2 more here, 2 more here, and then we'll give this leg a little break. When you finish those 2, once again, feel free to press it back, give your wrists a circle. And then we're gonna do that same thing on the second side. So this time that right knee is supporting. We're gonna start with that lift out to the left side, keeping that knee bent. That left knee floats off the floor. We lift to the side, little 2 count hold, and then bring it back down. Again, this side might feel a little different because it did all that work just supporting you. So it could be a little more challenging, and that's okay. A little bit different kind of a challenging today than normal. And that being said, try and keep that core engaged here. Try and think about that every couple seconds. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. 2 more to the side. 2 more to the side. Looking good, you guys. Working on those muscles that support the knees. When you finish those 2, once again, feel free to grab that little hips back towards the heels. And then we're bringing it up to the back. Same exact thing. Flex that foot. Press that heel up towards the ceiling. Try and keep that 90-degree angle with the knee. Little 2 count hold, and then back down. We're almost there. After we do this side, we've only got 1 more movement on each side before we change it up. Give those wrists a little break. Give those hips a little break. Excellent job. Excellent job. Nice. Give me 2 more to the back. 2 more here in this range of motion. Again, option for that little break before we move it on. If you want to press those hips back, feel free to. And then we're going to take it back to that first side. Final range of motion from hands and knees here is just going to be combining those last 2 movements. So we're going to take it out to the side, little 2 count pause, back down, and then up to the back, 2 count pause. So it's just kind of a reprieve for the muscles in between those two movements as we work through the other movement. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and get started. Out to the side, 2 count hold, back down in, and then up to the back, 2 count hold. So we're really working on those lateral muscles and those glutes, those supporting muscles for the knees. And if you're someone who likes to bike or run, these are super helpful if you start to feel knee pain, especially on the inside of the knee. Give me one more in each direction. One more each direction. Finish off with your second range of motion. Set that right knee down and take it right to the other side if you can. Finishing out strong. We're almost there. Like I said, wrists and hips get a little break after this. Stick with me. Looking good, looking good. Nice job, you guys. One more time to keep that core engaged. And give me one more in each direction, finishing with that second direction. One final time. When you finish that out, we're going to take it knees nice and wide, hips back towards the heels. A little break for them in that child's pose. Once again, maybe it's a roll of the wrists. Maybe you bend the elbows and bring the hands to the shoulders for a tricep stretch. Taking just a moment here. All righty. We're going to take it to our downward facing dog just briefly. So lift the hips, curl the toes under, hips up and back. Take a moment, pedal out those heels. Good, and inchworm those feet forward into meet the hands, forward fold. From here, we're going to go right into it. We're going to keep it moving here. We're going to get our heart rates up a little bit. We're going to do a little flow. Inhale, halfway lift to your flat back, your long spine. Exhale, fold it forward. Step that right foot back nice and long. Toe down, heel up, sweep the arms up, crescent lunge. Warrior 2 turns that right heel down, opens those arms up nice and wide. Bend in that left knee. Flip the front palm, that left palm, lift it up and back, peaceful. Cartwheel it down. Left hand comes down, right hand comes over and down, right heel lifts. Left foot goes back to meet the right, downward facing dog. 2 options, child's pose to cobra or low flow to cobra. If you're doing child's pose to cobra, knees wide, hips towards the heels. Low flow brings the shoulders over the wrists, toes or knees. Lower it through your chaturanga. Everyone presses up to cobra. Exhale, turns those toes over, hips up and back, downward facing dog. From here, go ahead, bend those knees, step or hop those feet forward to meet those hands, forward fold. Second side, inhale, halfway lift, flat back, long spine. Exhale, fold it forward. Left foot steps back nice and long this time, toe down, heel up, find your balance, sweep those arms up. Crescent lunge. Excellent. Warrior 2, left heel turns down, arms open. Flip that front palm, lift it up and back, peaceful. Cartwheel it down, right hand, left hand comes up and over and down, left heel lifts. Right foot goes back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Child pose to cobra or low flow to cobra, shoulders over wrists, chaturanga, toes or knees. Everyone hits that cobra. Chest comes up, hips are down. Turn those toes under, press those hips up and back, downward facing dog. Bend those knees, step or hop those feet forward to meet those hands. We're going to come all the way up to that mountain pose. Inhale takes us up, nice and controlled. When you hit that long spine, I want you to take those arms up overhead. Nice big stretch long away from center. And our exhale is going to fold us forward once again, fingertips towards the toes. Halfway lift, flat back, long spine. Fold it forward. Crescent's next. Right foot steps back long, toes down, heel up, sweep the arms up. Crescent lunge. To warrior 2, turn the right heel down, open the arms. To peaceful, flip the front palm, lift it up. Cartwheel it down, left hand, right heel. Left goes back to meet the right, downward facing dog. Child's pose to cobra or low flow to cobra. Either way, we will meet there. Toes or knees for that chaturanga, keeping those elbows close. And then turn those toes under, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Make sure you keep that core engaged for that. Bend those knees, step or hop those feet forward to meet those hands, forward fold. Halfway lift, flat back, long spine. Fold it forward. Second side, left leg steps back long, crescent lunge, toes down, heel up, sweep the arms up, find your balance. Warrior two, left heel turns down, arms open. Peaceful, flip the front palm, lift it up and back. Cartwheel it down. Right hand, left heel. Right goes back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Child's pose to cobra, low flow to cobra. Here we go. When you find that cobra, take a second and then engage that core. Turn those toes under, press the hips up and back, down dog. Bend those knees, step or hop those feet forward to meet those hands, forward fold. Inhale, rolls us all the way up, extended mountain. Keeping it going, forward fold. Halfway lift, flat back, long spine. Forward fold. Crescent, right foot steps back, toes down, heel up, find your balance, sweep the arms. Warrior two, turns that right heel down, opens those arms, keep that bend in that left knee. To peaceful, flip the front palm, lift it up and back. Cartwheel it down, left hand, right heel. Left goes back to meet the right, downward facing dog. Either of those two options is fabulous. Go ahead and take the one that works best for you, and then meet in that cobra or up dog. Engage the core, turn the toes under, hips up and back, down dog. Bend those knees, step or hop forward, feet to the hands. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, long spine. Exhale, fold it forward. Final time, left side, step that left foot back nice and long, toe down, heel up, find your balance, sweep the arms for that crescent. Left heel turns down, arms open, warrior two. Peaceful, flips that front palm, lift it up and back. Cartwheel it down, right hand, left heel. Right foot goes back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Either of those two options, take the one that works to bring it to cobra. And turn those toes under, hips up and back, down dog. Keep it here for a moment for me. Pedal out those heels, take a little stretch through the backs of the legs. This is an opportunity if you would like to sit before we move to our third and final part of the practice. Feel free to do that and then bring it back to that downward facing dog. Or if the wrists aren't feeling down dog, feel free to take it to child's pose for a few moments. Couple deep breaths. All right, we've got a little plank series coming up at us next. So taking two more nice deep breaths wherever you are, and then bringing it back to that downward facing dog if you left it. Someone at my front door. Wonder who it could be. All right, so meet me in that downward facing dog, getting ready for our just final series. We've got a little bit of plank, but we're also going to do a little more hip work. I want you to float it out to that high push-up plank. If those wrists are really bothering you, this is my invitation for you to bring it down to those elbows and just find that low plank instead. Either option is fabulous. Keep that core tucked in, keep that belly button pulled in towards the spine. Shoulders are either over the wrists or over the elbows. Excellent work. We're almost there. 3, 2, we're going to lower through our chaturanga or just bring it down to the belly from those elbows, down to the mat. Extend those arms out nice and long. A little bit of glute work here. We're going to lift up into our Superman, lifting up those arms and legs. As always, if you have any lower back pain with this, feel free to keep those feet down or those hands down as you lift those feet up, whichever alleviates that pain. We're here for just a couple moments, finding that hold. And if you'd like to take it up a notch for those final couple of seconds, here's my invitation for that swimming. Opposite arm and opposite leg, getting going. We're still in that hold pattern. So arms and legs are lifted. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down. Pull those hands in to surround the chest. From here, we're going to go into our side plank. So you have 2 options. If you like that side plank from the wrist, you can press directly up and then we'll turn into it. If you like it from the elbow, you can drop that elbow in front of you and turn those hips to the side and get ready to come into it. Either is an excellent option, and we're going to go right into it here. So turning those heels to the side, lifting that top arm if you can, and then that supporting arm is down, whether it's from the wrist or from the elbow. Couple of options. You've got that low knee support if you'd like it. You've got that high leg on the top if you'd like it. We're just here for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna lower directly down onto that hip, directly down onto that hip. We've got our side series, really brief on this first side. You can have that head on the bicep. You can support yourself on that elbow if you'd like. We're gonna flex that top foot. We're gonna just do a lift and lower here. So just a little bit more hip work from that first side. Lift and lower, flex top foot. Excellent, excellent. We're just gonna change it up by pointing those toes up towards the ceiling. Keep those hips stacked. Got that external rotation. Nice. Next time you bring that foot down, I want you to leave it there. We're going to point that toe towards that opposite wall, and we're going to do just dinner plate size circles with that foot. So not super small, but just a medium sized circle about 3 to 6 inches off of that bottom foot. Keeping that toe pointed, keeping it activated, keeping those hips stacked. Once again, think about that core. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, release that top leg. Roll it back over onto the stomach one more time. We're gonna press up to our high push-up plank for just a little hold. So it can be a push-up, or you can press up in the way that works for you. Bring it to that plank. Again, if those elbows down is a better option for you, feel free to take it. Excellent. With your next exhale, lower it all the way down. We've got one more set of that Superman hold. If you'd like that opposite arm, opposite leg, feel free to add it in here. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down, pull those arms in. Same 2 options. You can press up to that plank for your transition to your side plank, or you can plant that second elbow. Either way, bringing it into that side plank, lifting those hips. Same couple of options. That bottom leg, it could come down. That top arm can lift. That top leg can lift. Nicely done. We're here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering down onto that second side. We're starting with that same top leg lift, flexing that foot, just finding that lift and lower, wherever your range of motion happens to be. Keeping those hips stacked, keeping that belly button pulled in towards the spine. Core engaged, fabulous work. Go ahead, next time you bring that foot down, externally rotate those toes up towards the ceiling, lifting and lowering there. Nice, still keeping those hips stacked. You might change your range of motion a little bit, that's okay. Nice, next time you bring that foot down, go ahead, point those toes, float it about 3 to 6 inches off of that bottom foot, dinner plate size circles with that foot. Nice, keeping it moving here for just a couple more seconds. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release that top foot. Final little bit of work. Bring it over onto the stomach one final time. We're bringing it to our final plank, whether it's high or low. Bringing those shoulders right over top of the wrists or elbows. Pulling that core in nice and tight. Keeping those shoulder blades separated, so don't sink through the shoulder blades. Don't sink through the lower back. Nice long line from the shoulders to the knees or to the hips. We're here for just another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Final one, final one. Press those hips up. Little stretch. Walk those feet forward to meet those hands. Feet forward to meet those hands. Forward fold. We've got 2.5 minutes. I lied. We've got one more thing. Go ahead, step those feet back. Press those hips up and back. Half pigeon. I want you to sweep that right leg underneath. Shin meets the mat. Top of that right foot, left foot meets the mat. So don't know directions. We should feel this nice stretch in that hip that we worked for all of that stuff that we just did and all the stuff we did at the beginning. We've got 2 nice deep breaths here in this first half pigeon. Excellent. And go ahead and take your favorite transition to the second side, whether it's rolling to a hip and circling those legs around or pressing through that downward facing dog to bring that left leg underneath. The top of that right foot meets the mat here. Once again, we've got 2 breaths here. Excellent. And I'm going to use this to transition us to that comfortable seated. So bring it to those palms if you brought it to those elbows, rolling onto that left hip, circling that right leg around, bringing it to that seated position. We're going to do one lateral stretch in each direction. That first inhale brings those arms out and up. Nice big stretch long away from center. Exhale, right hand comes down, left arm comes up over top, big stretch. Inhale pulls us through center, same thing, second side. Inhale back up to center, big stretch to center. Palms come together and hands come down to heart center. Thank you for joining me on this lovely Wednesday evening. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, great rest of your week. See you next time. The light in me honors the light in you. Bowing as we say, namaste.